Hello, team players. Today's another spooky archetype. As some of you guys may know, I'm teaming up with 20 Side Adventures to cover some of the more spooky character options. Because after all, it is Halloween season. Today we're talking about the zombie archetype. We all know about zombies and how they want to eat brains, and they're usually mindless. But what happens when your character becomes a zombie? Does the GM take over your character? Or do you continue playing as a zombie? Well, you have a choice. You can work with your GM to reanimate your former character as a zombie with the zombie archetype. Or you can create a brand new character. To take the zombie dedication, you need to have died and been reanimated as a zombie. As a zombie, you gain the basic undead benefits, which I covered in my ghost archetype video, which is right up here in the card. But unlike a typical zombie, you aren't mindless. But you do reduce all your speeds by 5 feet. After all, zombies are slow. And your fists lose the non-lethal trait. Which means if you take this archetype, you don't need to be a monk to do lethal damage with your fists. This makes this archetype extremely good with fighters because you get that expert proficiency still, and you can do lethal damage with your fists. Unarmed fighters love this archetype. But there are downsides to being a zombie. First, each day after you're resting, your body deteriorates, which makes you slowed 1. But you can repair your body during daily preparations, but can't remove the slowed condition by any other means. You also gain a Jaws unarmed attack, but can only use it against creatures that are grabbed or restrained by you. As a zombie, you do of course crave the flesh of the living, which means you must use your jaws to ingest living flesh in order to fix your body throughout the day. Because there are some feats that do make your body deteriorate when you use them. Moving past the dedication, your first feat is Ankle Biter. So, while you're prone, you are always taking cover from ranged attacks. And you don't take a penalty to your attack rolls. You also gain a bonus to trip attempts. You can also move up to your full speed while crawling, but you must succeed at a flat check or your body deteriorates. Of course, means slowed 1. This feat is actually pretty good. You are still off guard while you're prone, but basically no other downsides, and even some upsides to being prone. Could be useful in quite a few situations. Next we have Feast. You can feast upon an adjacent restrained or unconscious creature. If they are alive, you deal your jaws damage. But whether it's alive or not, you gain temporary hit points from this. You can choose to get double the temporary hit points, but doing so comes with a chance that your body deteriorates. Getting temporary hit points is always nice, but you need to have a creature restrained and not just grabbed, or unconscious, or deceased in order to use this, making this pretty situational. It can be good for grapple builds, but other than that, wouldn't take this. As a zombie, you also have access to the Bashing Charge Barbarian feat, which basically allows you to make a stride and an athletics check to smash through an obstacle in your way with a bonus to the roll. If you fail, you stop at the obstacle. This can be pretty good for smashing doors that the party can't otherwise get open. Otherwise, pretty situational. Honestly, this feat is a lot better on barbarians than it is on the zombie archetype, as barbarians will guaranteed have great strength, and plus, they have the hit points to take the damage from a trap, whereas a zombie may or may not. This archetype also has access to the Fighter Combat Grab feat, which is a very good feat. It's basically an auto grab on a target after you hit them with a strike, which of course makes them off guard and allows you to use your jaws on them. You'll also have access to Crushing Grab, allowing you to do extra damage when you grab someone. Extra damage is always decent, but that's all this does. It isn't horrible, but it's not particularly good either. Ravenous Charge, on the other hand, is great action economy. It lets you stride, make a grapple check, and a bite a target for 2 actions, which is great action economy, like I said, but you do still take the multiple attack penalty. Brains requires the Feast feat. It's a free action triggered when you feast on a non-mindless humanoid's brain. You get a bonus on recall knowledge checks for 1 hour, and it's a higher bonus if the humanoid you feasted on has a higher skill bonus than you. Recall knowledge needs to be used a lot more than it is. So the fact that this gives you a bonus to it is actually pretty good. I know a lot of people don't really like recall knowledge, but I think it can be the difference between life and death in a combat. It can definitely make the fight a ton easier. Of course, this is all my opinion, so take it or leave it. Next we have the Numb feat. You gain the advanced undead benefits, which of course I did cover in my ghost archetype video, along with the basic undead benefits. But this feat also gives you a bonus on saving throws against emotion and pain effects. It's a bigger bonus, and successes become critical successes when your body is deteriorated. I don't know about pain effects, but emotion effects are insanely common in Pathfinder 2e, especially fear effects. So this is a very good feat. Granted, your body has to be deteriorated to get the full benefit of this, and that does mean you're going to be slowed 1. But this is a pretty good defensive feat. I would recommend this one, as you may be slowed 1, but you have higher defenses against emotion and pain effects. At level 8, we have Out of Hand. If your arm is severed from your body, it uses the stats of a familiar, but it doesn't get any familiar or master abilities. It has a speed of 5 feet and can't move more than 100 feet from your body. It can interact with things, as well as make any unarmed strikes it could while attached to your body. If it reaches 0 HP, it becomes inert until reattached. You can sever your own arm with the lay down arms action, or reattach it with the same action. Not entirely sure whether your arm or other limb can provide flanking. If it can, this feat is very good, as you basically can give yourself or an ally flanking along with flanking yourself. If not, this feat is okay. Let me know in the comments if you know one way or the other. Next we have Shamble. You can spend 1 or 2 actions on this. You stride a number of times equal to the number of actions you took, and you can ignore difficult terrain during this movement. You can also ignore any penalties to your speed, but you must succeed at a flat check or your body deteriorates. This can give you a lot of mobility in some situations. If you're running into difficult terrain a lot, this can be useful. Or you're running into creatures that give you penalties to your speed. But other than that, I wouldn't recommend taking this. Next we have Unkillable. It's a reaction you can take once per hour. If you would be reduced to 0 HP, you're reduced to 1 HP instead. But your body deteriorates unless you make a flat check. This is a great survivability feat, but there are better ones out there. If you have access to other survivability feats, I recommend taking those, because slowed 1 is just such a bad condition to have. I mean, you're basically losing an action on your turn. Don't get me wrong, this feat is good. It's just there are better survivability options out there. At level 14, we also have the Corpse Stench feat, which is also available to the Ghoul archetype. You basically have a sickening aura in a 10-foot emanation. Creatures that start their turn in that aura must make a fortitude save against your class DC or spell DC, whichever is higher, or be sickened 1, or even slowed 1 if they critically fail on the save. Also, while in the aura, the creature takes a -2 penalty on saves against diseases, and to remove the sickened condition. A creature that succeeds on a save is immune to corpse stench for 1 minute. You do have to be careful with this feat because it can affect your allies. But sickened is one of the best conditions in the entire game. So just having an automatic aura that inflicts it is great, especially since the aura gives them a penalty against trying to get rid of it. And this do any diseases that your party wants to inflict on the target. Hey guys, Drew from the future here. I totally forgot to talk about the Festering Wounds feat, which basically means it's hard to heal from the damage of your unarmed strikes. Okay, back to the video. And the last feat I'm going to cover in this video is Seize. If your last action was a successful fist strike against a creature that is no more than one size category larger than you, the foe is automatically grabbed, as if you succeeded at an athletics check to grapple the foe. This is a very good feat because it's just automatic off guard, making it much easier to hit that foe. And that's for everyone, not just you. I definitely recommend this one. It's basically it's basically same, if not better, than a barbarian feat that they have access to. This is a higher level feat than the barbarian feat that basically does the same thing. So you gotta wait 2 more levels, but it's worth it, trust me. And that's the zombie archetype done. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of the zombie. You can also subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this for Monster Mash. We're getting close to 1,600 subscribers, and I'd really like to get to that point before the end of October. In fact, it would be great if we could get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but that's pushing it, I think. But I think 1,800 is probably a pretty good goal. But even if you don't subscribe, you should stay tuned to this channel for more Monster Mash. If you're interested in the Ghoul archetype, 20-Sided Adventures covered that. So check out his channel. You can also talk about any of the monsters me or 20-Sided Adventures covered on my Discord server. And you can get all of my Monster Mash videos early on my Patreon page. All those links are in the description below. And of course, if you're interested in more Monster Mash videos, I got a video for you right here on screen. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, teamwork is vital. It helps us solve problems.